if you have not dealt with your karma, then you cannot make it through the moon. You cannot make it out of Earth, and you can't really necessarily make it to Earth. This is a really common narrative in the New Age and also ufology, that the moon is hijacked by negative interdimensionals, and the moon is a control base, and that it pretty much is not natural, and it just is used to enforce control on humanity. I don't fully agree with that. I don't agree with the reality that a lot of people say that women menstruate because the moon was fundamentally placed over the earth as a control mechanism that made women experience pain and menstruate. The women began menstruating and as we move down in density as a way to process energy. It's a natural function. It's a natural way. It's a holy thing. It's not something that is a curse. So I don't agree with that, although I will say that's a very popular narrative to find in the New Age. No, your menstrual cycle is not a curse. It didn't happen because the moon was brought here by a lower astral entity to control you. You have to understand that if the moon was just created by a lower being, it would have very little spiritual power over us. It would only be able to influence, gravity or magnetism on a very physical level. If a lower astral being created some kind of rock and then put it in our orbit of the moon, that's just a physical thing that they've done. There would be no real spiritual connection with it because it's not something that we are connected to spiritually. It's just an object that was placed there. What I think is more accurate about the moon is that the moon is a lock. So the moon is the first lock on the planet. And it is a lock not because some negative extraterrestrials are controlling the moon and enforcing this lock on us, enforcing us on this prison planet. It is a lock because it contains the last era of karma that we had. So it contains the humanity's karma from the last epoch, which was a matriarchal age, which is why the moon is feminine and why the goddess is in the moon. That karma is the time of the goddess. It's from the time of the goddess. So this is something that the cosmos will do. We can look at the cosmos as one giant soul or one giant mind, and it will create planets as humanity evolves and as the cosmos evolves. Certain celestial bodies will form, and they'll hold karma. They'll hold memory for the cosmos. It's kind of like the moon is a book, or the moon is a memory bank of a certain of a certain era. And planets are like that too. So the moon is really a holding pattern of the previous era, and it was ejected from the earth as a mechanism to reflect our karma back to ourselves so that we can integrate the last era's karma and move forward. So there's a mechanism to it that's totally neutral, totally organic to us. And every planet, every asteroid does something, every comet does something. It's not random, and they hold a function within our mind and within the cosmos, the great cosmic mind. They're doing something. They're holding energy. They're clearing it. They're always doing something. And the moon is an organic body, but it has a locking effect. And if you have not dealt with your karma, then you cannot make it through the moon. You cannot make it out of Earth, and you can't really necessarily make it to Earth. And so within the lower astral, there are certain beings that try to control the moon in a way to get through the moon lock or control the moon lock. And so what was an organic body was altered extensively and has gone through major alterations, so people don't even see it really necessarily as an organic body. But it originally was. We have to understand that that's the only way it would have any psychic power over us, is that it has to be part of us. It can't be something someone else created and just plopped there. There's no power in that kind of magic. That's only physical. So we have to understand that about the moon. We have to understand that about all the cosmic bodies, is that they're doing something for us. And so there's a moon lock and that is why people call this a prison planet. And that is why people have such negative feelings towards the moon. Well, it literally is reflecting to you yourself. The moon is a mirror. And especially ourselves from that feminine epoch. Are we at peace with ourselves there? Have we overcome the moon? Or are we still trapped within its fog, within its hall of mirrors? So suffice to say, are there negative interdimensionals? Absolutely. Are there negative interdimensionals that form bases around the moon and various different planetary bodies because they no longer have a planet and they want to parasitically live off the earth? Absolutely. But did they create the moon? No. They hijack what is natural. They parasitically suck on a natural structure, they don't create anything. They literally just parasitically live off of it. You can't have any magical power unless you're working with a natural force, if that makes sense.